So the message Nick Stone was really sending is that be that support for other people. Like, don't assume things about someone. Like, simply caring for someone and asking how they're doing and believing in someone means so much. Open your eyes. When you see me, see me. It's the least that you can do. Hi everybody, I'm Jessica Nicole Dickerson, aka JND, and welcome back to another video. So, sleepy face is on. I've decided to do a little 24-hour readathon, but I'm going to be doing 12 hours one day and 12 hours another day because sleep is so important and I'd cry if I didn't get any. So I'm gonna go from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. today. We'll see if I actually read all the way through, but I'm also trying to defeat a reading slump, so I believe in myself, and I'm really excited because I'm finally gonna be tackling Dear Justice. Oh my god, if you guys know, if you follow me on Twitter, I've been so excited for the release of this. Dear Martin is one of my favorite books. It's so good. So yeah, I'm finally getting into this. I have no words for my excitement, but these two I'm hopefully gonna finish today. I do have the audiobook for Dear Martin, and then I'm just gonna read Dear Justice, and I'm gonna annotate them both. I'm so excited for it. Okay, and then I just have a few other books that I'm gonna try and read. I have this book that was sent to me. It is a book that I believe is self-published. So Miki just published her poetry collection. So it is Home for Hurricanes, a memoir of resilience in poetry and prose. Literally, besides the fact that this is stunning, it's also short, so it'll be really easy to try and read in the 24 hours that we have. I will link the book down below if you'd like to purchase it, if you're interested in poetry and supporting another Black female. So I'm really excited for it, and she left me a little sweet note. It was so sweet of her, like a little post, so freaking sweet. So I'm very excited to read this. Yeah, so this is her debut poetry collection, and I know this book also talks about some traumatic events too. And then the little tagline is, though you were bruised in conflict, you are no less diamond. So that is definitely on the TBR. Another really short book that I think is also poetry is You Don't Even Know Me by Sharon G. Flake. I really like this author. I read In Your Skin. I have it on my shelf. I'm looking at it. I think it's In Your Skin or In My Skin. I'll put a picture up. Freaking love that book. So I'm really excited to read more from Sharon because I feel like we're gonna vibe, and it's very short, and this is from the perspective of Black boys, so I think it's super important to read from. So You Don't Even Know Me, stories and poems about boys. So yeah, and I know this also this author has won the Coretta Scott King Award 3 times, so she's impressive. She's notable. She's everything life. Okay, I have another poetry book. All the poetry, because you know poetry books are kind of shorter. I have Black Girl Magic, the Breakbeat Poets Volume 2. Don't have Volume 1. Oops. But Elizabeth Acevedo, our queen, is in this one. So I'm really excited. Also just to see more poetry from other Black women, because it's the great thing about this. It's all poems from Black women, which is great. We love that. Diverse in the diaspora. And then the next one, I think this one is iffy if I'll actually be able to finish it, but I did start it, and it was sent to me by a publisher, which I'm so grateful for. It's Punching the Air by A.B. Zaboy and Yusuf Salam. I really I read the first page in a video for you guys like a while back, and it just sounded so fun and amazing, and I know it's going to tackle a lot of great issues. I might annotate this too. I'm at 40 pages, but I might start over because it is open or like free verse, so it's very short. So I think I can finish this. I might be pushing it because it is 400 pages compared to, you know, the other poetry books that are like under 2. But this, hopefully I'll get to it. And then lastly, if by some reason I finish all of that, I also have What Mama Left Us by Renee Watson, which is another author I really, really love. This is just a book vlog, a reading vlog of all my favorite authors. A.B. Savoy, Nick Stone, Renee Watson, a little bit of Elizabeth Acevedo. So yeah, so I think this is gonna tackle grief and mourning of a lost mom. But yeah, that's the TBR. We'll see how much I can actually read. How many books is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. Oh my god. If I finish just 2 of them, I'll be ecstatic, to be honest. We'll see. But I made breakfast and then I'm gonna start reading. So I'm gonna be diving into Dear Martin. So if you don't know, it's by Nick Stone, and it is about a young boy named Justice who I believe goes to a private school, so he does have some privilege, and he is writing letters to Martin Luther King about the injustices that are happening, and he just doesn't understand, because he has so much privilege and education, like why things are happening to him. And it's a really well-rounded story. I think that's all you really need to know going into this. But Nick Stone's writing is just so, it hits you in your feels, but then it also makes you laugh. It's that makes you laugh cry, where it's like there's funny moments and then there's those heart-wrenching moments. But yeah, so excited to dive into this and listen to the audiobook. I need to get my tabs so I can annotate. And don't forget to drink water. And this is why I love this book so much, because it just brings up so many good points. Literally 53 pages in, and we've had like several discussions about race and equality, because Justice goes to a like private school and it's mostly white. Obviously most private schools are, that's a fact statistically. And some of the students have the mindset of like, oh no, America's great, equality is the best it's ever been, everyone's fair, everyone's equal. And everyone else in the room's like, Justice is like, because the book starts off with him getting arrested for trying to help a girl, and the cop thought he was doing something bad because he was wearing a hoodie and looking shifty. Yeah, so that's not a spoiler, that happens in like the first 2 chapters. But it just, there's so many good discussions about it. And then Nick Stone also balances humor very well into this book, because obviously it's very heavy talking about all this stuff, but there's so many good conversations of Justice is like, well, it is kind of true that all positions of power, most positions of power are held by white people, so I have to associate with them to level up, to, you know, get higher paying jobs and whatnot. But then I feel bad because I'm leaving my people behind, I'm betraying myself, and then also being mad at certain black people for, you know, becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy and acting thuggish when cops already think they're thuggish. And it just brings up all those conversations in such a good way that we're not presenting answers to them, but we're just talking about it. And it's just great. It's such a good book. And I have, you know, obviously a lot of this book left, so there's a lot more that's going to be happening. And then, oh, my bookmark, if you are interested, the seasonal pages. I think I have the other one. Oh, it's right here. Perfect. The seasonal pages has her holiday bookmarks out. They're so exciting. I think I've already mentioned them in previous videos, but I just got them in the mail and they're so freaking cute. I love holiday anything. So if you're looking for any cute like holiday bookish gifts, you should check out the seasonal pages below. She is an independent black-owned business selling cute stickers and bookmarks and stuff, so I definitely check it out. The link down below does give me the tiniest commission ever, but it doesn't change the price, and all of her stuff is very, very, very affordable, so you should definitely check it out. The link's below. But I'm gonna get back to reading Dear Justice. Wait, Dear Martin. I'm gonna get back to reading Dear Martin. Dear Justice will come later. Okay, so I can't actually quote the section I want to, because they talk about affirmative action in such a way that brings me joy, because this girl kicks this dude's ass with all her facts, but at the same time, oh, it's long. I can't tell you everything that I want to, but basically she tells you this guy who believes that affirmative action is bad, but then she's like, okay, think about all the money your parents pay, all the resources you get. You're paying $36,000 for a high school education, whereas someone else might be just at a public school without laptops or really old textbooks, and most teachers leave after their first year, whatever. So think of people's starting points and what's fair, because like his whole argument is, well, minorities are getting spots that I deserve. It's like, well, is it fair that your starting point was higher than, it was just, it's such a good argument. She says it in such a way, and then literally this guy's like, whatever, whenever I see a minority, I'm gonna wonder if they're qualified to be there. And it strikes such a chord, because obviously they deserve it. They have the means, like the school still wanted them. It's not like they're picking the most crummiest people ever. They're picking qualified people. It's just that maybe their test scores aren't as high, because SATs don't really mean anything, like especially if you're taking courses to like perfect and get a perfect score, and other people don't have those resources. It disqualifies so many people who might even deserve that spot and just can't test well because they weren't given the resources in the first place. This spot always gets me heated, but the fact that he's like, I'm gonna question minorities no matter where they come from, blah, 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 makes me so mad, because it's so true. So many people are so like upset about it. They're like, people at schools are trying to fill quotas and you're stealing my spot. It's like, literally statistically in universities, black students are like 2%, and I think Hispanics are at least closer to like the 15-18%, but like black students are 2%. Let them have their 2%. Okay, gosh darn it. So I just finished Dear Martin. Oh gosh, it's just it's so good. I think it's just, I feel like everyone should read this, you know? And I feel like most people have. It's a bestseller. I know people talk about it, but I just love it so much. And I can't wait to read Dear Justice, because I don't know if it's gonna follow this timeline, because this ends with them ending high school, which isn't really a spoiler. So I'm so curious, because I really do love these characters, and there's so much growth and understanding and love between all of them. I finished one book, and it is currently 2 o'clock, 1:59 to be exact. And I am going to read Dear Justice next, obviously. I'm so excited to read it. It's gonna break me, I know it. This vlog, I might be in the literal same spot the whole time. My apologies, but hopefully you'll like the reading content, you know what I mean? But I am taking a quick lunch break. I fried up some noodles. Okay, lunch break's over, and I started reading, and I read the first chapter, and this is Kwan's perspective, which is so cool. So in the first book, one of the not main characters, but main side characters that caused some issues was Kwan, because he, I think, was arrested and sent to juvie for some things. I'm not gonna say exactly what he did because that might be a spoiler. But Justice and him grew up together, and we just read a scene of them meeting for the first time as 5th graders. So I think it's gonna flip back and forth between what Kwan was going through before the events that he did in Dear Justice. And it was really cool because also Nick Stone put in a note at the beginning about how not everyone's story is like Dear Justice. Like, fortunately enough, I align with Dear Justice a lot, having the privilege growing up in a middle-class family, going to a good school, but not everyone has that. A lot of people have families that are, you know, not supportive, to say the least, and grow up in neighborhoods and systems where they try and put you in juvie, where it's systematically like that. I'm just like, Nick Stone does so... I just love it. I love acknowledging the imperfections of our world. And it's like, what kind of questions? Let's have a conversation about it. Let's dive into this. Why is it like this, you know? So I really like the parallels this book is drawing already in just the first chapter I read. But yeah, back to reading. Finally switching up the angle, I'm back in the Papasan chair, living my best life. I am, let's see how far I am into it. I'm 95 pages into Dear Justice, and I'm really loving it. It's very interesting to see how like their lives differ, how Justice life went on a different path than like Kwan's, because obviously the amount of support each person got is different. Justice at least had his mom, who was really motivated to get him to a good high school and stuff, whereas Laquan's mom was like, ooh, just not there for him, didn't believe in him. And just, you could see how that lack of support really made him choose his not so good choices. But that's no excuse, obviously. But it's interesting to see those paths and him reflecting, Kwan reflecting on while talking to Justin in our present. Because obviously, Dear Justice, he's writing letters to Justice about why he's making those choices, how he felt, how their paths, though different, have similar themes, parallels. So it's all very interesting, and it is quite sad. I feel like Dear Martin, because of his privilege, there was some more humor and a little bit more romance, and there was a little bit more comedy within that book. I haven't had a single like hee moment, except for, let's see, I have one orange tab. What was funny? I think it was about probably him threatening to beat up somebody. One of his letters to Justice was like, which of course made me think of your punk ass smiley face, like with an actual smiley face in that book. So yeah, besides that, not a lot of humor. So it's definitely way more intense. Okay, I'm 145 pages in, and we're hearing from Justice. Oh, I love Justice as a character. I love Kwan in a different way. Like, there's a lot of pity in that relationship, which makes me feel bad because I shouldn't pity him. He made his choices. But it's definitely like very sad and emotional. Whereas Justice, I just love as a person because he's great. So I'm happy to hear from him. That was my only update. Okay, bye. And it's not really a spoiler, it's like a snapshot. A lot of the story really ebbs and flows in snapshots of like the past, the present. It does a lot of bouncing back, so not a spoiler, but I'm so happy to hear from Justice. Hello. So it's the next day. I just woke up, that's why I have my sleepy face on. We love that. I barely made it up and like ready by 11 because I'm trying to do 24 hours, 11 to 11 over the weekend, both days. I explained it yesterday, you were following. I woke up at like 9:30 and I was just like in bed. I love leisure mornings. Like, I made coffee, I got my iced water, slowly trying to like wake up. And the next thing I knew, it was like 10:51 and I was like, oh, I need to get ready. So now it is past 11 and I'm gonna start reading it in a second. But I did want to share what I managed to read last night because I didn't update you. I think when I moved over to the Papasan chair, I got too chill because I didn't even stay up till 11 last night because I was just like, I'm tired. I've done a lot of reading. Let's go to bed. I think I went to bed at like 10 and I stopped reading around 9:30. It was, yeah, I was tired, but it's okay because I read a lot yesterday, or started reading a lot. So I did read Dear Martin, and you've heard my thoughts about this. I've talked about this on my channel a bunch. Definitely an all-time favorite book of mine. I love Justice. I love his friends. The meaning of having a good support group. And then, oh, and asking good questions too. Asking good questions is so important. But then, Dear Martin, this is Dear Justice. I don't know if I've been keeping the titles straight because Justice is the main character in Dear Martin, and Justice is a character and is in the same universe and world as Dear Justice. But we're following Quan in this one. Quan is a childhood friend who just went on a different path because of having a different support system or lack thereof. And Nick Stone talks a lot about in this book about how a lot of the teens she met aren't like Justice. They don't have that support system, so they go looking for something like that, and that tends to be in more dangerous situations and things like that, or just not choices you would normally make because you're sacrificing some things, some values for that support system. It was so touching. Obviously a 5-star. Obviously it was so good. This one didn't make me cry as much as Dear Martin, because in this one you deal with the loss of someone. Like there's a murder, there's a shooting. So I think this one makes me cry whenever I read it. Just so hard, and it's really eye-opening. So I feel like those people who think, oh, race isn't like an issue during this time, it's like it is. Read other people's perspectives. Then this guy is just dealing with the fact that, like, have I been forced into these bad choices? Like, would I have made them if I had a supportive mom? And it's a lot of interesting things that people don't understand. People assume that bad people, like thugs and gang members, are all bad by like birth, but it's like, no, a lot of them have trauma and like traumatic childhoods and lack of support, and these choices seem like there's no other option for them, even though they're like 14, 15, maybe even younger when they're making these choices. So yeah, it was really good. It was a little unrealistic in the sense that Nick Stone also talked about how there was a support team in here for Quan at some point to help him, and the likelihood of getting that isn't real. A lot of people who go through the juvenile system and end up going to prison later, they don't have that support, and it's sad. And the message Nick Stone was really sending is that be that support for other people. Like, don't assume things about someone. Like, simply caring for someone and asking how they're doing and believing in someone means so much. And I think it was good. I really appreciated that Nick Stone really made this a full circle moment, because Justice was in Dear Justice as well, and I love those characters so much, so that really brought me joy to see them in there. But also was really good to have the flip side, that you could take the high road and get into an Ivy League school and things like that, but you could also very easily make bad choices and befriend people and find support in people who morals or values aren't aligned with, you know, yours, but you're so desperate for that support, someone to understand you, that you do those things and you lose yourself in it, or you're dealing with PTSD and trauma from your childhood or from your teens. So yeah, it was super full circle, and I really appreciated it. I just need more of Justice. I like want a story of him going to college and living out his life, and I know Nick Stone's not gonna do it because she's like, this chapter's closed, and I'm like, but I love Justice so much. I love like what he does, what he stands for. He's a great person. Okay, and then I managed to read, let's see, I started You Don't Even Know Me, which is a bunch of poems and short stories about Black boys. I'm on page 40. I'm kind of liking this. I really like the first short story that was in this, that was talking about marriage. This guy was marrying a girl because he got her pregnant, and there was a whole discussion about how scared he was, but then he loved her, but how scared he was, and it was really good, and it ended in a really different way than I thought. This next one is about someone's grandpa being shot in the store, and it's a little bit weirder because we're like learning about it through these like two younger kids on the block who are like trying to help the guy figure out who killed his grandpa. It's a little bit weirder. I'm not enjoying it as much. I don't know if it's not believable or because it just feels a little weirder, but I'll talk more about this when I get more into it. And then I did read a few poems from Home for Hurricanes. So I've been reading. I'm hoping to finish these two before like 3 today and then dive into some of my other options. Just a baby update. I'm on page 122 and the stories have gotten a lot better, and I'm kind of keeping track of the ratings for each story here. And then I have trigger warnings too, because there's a lot of trigger warnings, like loss of family member, fat phobia, suicide. And so far I have 2 5-star stories, or actually 3 5-star stories. So there's been a lot of, I feel like, good stories. There's some that are just okay, but then the last one I just read was like this light-skinned guy liking this light-skinned girl, and they're like, we're both beautiful and we like to play hard to get. And then the poem that followed is Chocolate Cinnamon Babe, about liking this my chocolate cinnamon beige colored boo. I just wish we'd stop fetishizing light-skinned people, because yes, colorism is real, and when you're lighter you do get treated differently, but I wish we'd stop perpetuating that idea in media and stuff, that like let's start making darker skinned women like beautiful and whatnot. Like, I hate the idea that just because you're light-skinned, like you're sexier, or you like to play hard to get, or because there's also a negative connotation that sometimes happens with light-skinned people. It's like, oh, because people like you automatically that you're like a player too. It's like, can we just stop that stereotype? Like, all people are pretty, like no matter your skin tone, and let's start perpetuating that idea. That would be great, you know? Like, I know someone was talking about how like Netflix, all their love interests are all like light-skinned black people, and it's like, why not throw in some Asians, throw in some dark skins, you know, mix it up. Indigenous, hello. Like, why is everybody light-skinned with like curly hair? Like clearly I still want to be hired as an actress, please hire me. But mix it up, like, and stop fetishizing light-skinned people. It's so weird to me, so weird. And yes, I've been there where people are like, I love your caramel skin. Guys think it's like hot to compliment you on that, and it's like, no. It's like, can we talk about my ambition, my goals? Let's talk about life. Let's talk about your hobbies. Like, there's so much more to a person than their skin color. Okay, that's all I had to say. That's my little update. I'm gonna keep reading. I think it's like 12:30. Time for a little update. I have finished You Don't Even Know Me, and I think I'm gonna give this 4 stars overall. I felt like the beginning half was really strong, and then towards the tail half, like, some of the stories didn't pack as much of a punch as the other ones. The other ones talk about really heavy topics, and I think they did them in a pretty good way. Towards the end we started talking a little bit more about like teenage angst and like inappropriate relationships. Like, there was one that's like one talking about pretty moms being a problem, and I was just like, that didn't punch as hard as it could have. But the last little poem, page 192, I'm gonna read to you because it's not really a spoiler, all the stories are different, but it says, open your eyes. When you see me, it's the least that you can do. And I think, like, yes, thank God. Why didn't the book start with this? Because I feel like since this book is all about being a black boy, I think that's so apparent in our culture that we don't see them as people or humans, and we don't see them, we generalize them, we think they're all thugs, whatever. So I thought that was a really strong message to end on. So I did really enjoy this. I think I'm gonna give this 4 stars because I think the beginning half was very strong, and then the other stories were just kind of like, you know, like okay, like 3 stars. And then I just started Home for Hurricanes. I'm like 37 pages into it, and look how many tabs I have. I'm just tabbing up the ones I liked, and I'm underlining certain things. Trigger warnings for sexual assaults, I believe that's it, and loss of a friend. And so far it's so lyrical, and look how beautiful this is. Like, I'm like, what? It's really, really lyrical. It does say a narrative. It's not like, you know, Rupiah Kaur's poetry where it's just like, you know, factoids, little poems here and there about the overall message or theme of the poetry collection. This, she's talking about a lot of different things, and let me see if I can read one of the ones I marked. Well, one of the poems was talking about how growing up she used to have hobbies, and then it, like, just the tone of the poem shifts to like, I don't have hobbies. Like, I used to have hobbies of sorts until I got a career working long hours for people in power in the heat with all my peers. And then it changes to, some people have hobbies, but just not me. There's no time for that. And like, the tone shifts, and it's just very interesting to see the way of words. I love it. And then there was this whole section about how she lost a friend and how it gave her the power to, let me find the sentence because I thought it was really strong, how she went from working in laboratories and being a teacher to, this is the sentence, now I go to schools without laboratories and tell kids about the power in their stories, you know. And it's just, it was really cool. And the flow of her narrative is really, really good. So I'm really enjoying this. It's only 110 pages. I really highly recommend you guys really check this author out. I'll link her Instagram below, and I'll link her book below. I believe she's self-published. What? I'm in a different location? Who is she? Oh my god. I finally got up off the floor and cleared off my desk for the most part. Like, look how clear she is. She's pretty. So I'm gonna finally sit here. I'm gonna probably just still do some reading, maybe some editing stuff. But yeah, I am currently reading What Mama Left Me. Did I tell you? Oh my god, I might have not told you. I finished Home for Hurricanes. I think I'm gonna give it a 5-star on Goodreads because it only has 1 review right now. Truthfully, more like a 4-star, just because poetry is very hard to rate. Definitely gonna still give it a 5-star on Goodreads though, because it was good and I don't want to deter anybody from reading it. I think a lot of people would really enjoy this. It really explored, you know, the character arc of life, of feeling like a failure, feeling like you're nothing, all these traumatic things happening to you, trigger warnings for sexual assault, and like abandonment of a parent figure. There was a lot within the poetry collection, so trigger warnings, I'll include them in my review, and I'll put an extensive review on like Amazon and Goodreads as soon as I can, because I want more reviews to come out for this author because it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It did have a lot of underlying faith in it, and no, not Christianity, it was actually Islamic, which is really cool. And there was a couple poems about that stage in her life. I think it was really cool because there were some poems that had a very clear narrative that was telling us a story about her that was relatable. I think a lot of people could relate to it. And then we would get these snippets of really just good like stanzas of poetry, and I was just like, yes, I really enjoyed it. 4-star read. I highly recommend that you guys check it out. And then I started What Mama Left Me by Renee Watson. I was going to pick up Punching the Air as like the priority, but like, I don't know why. I was like, this isn't on my TBR for so long. I love Piecing Me Together. Literally after reading Dear Martin, I was like, I need to reread Piecing Me Together like right now, because those two are just very nostalgic for me. So I just decided, you know what, let's pick up this. I'm 52 pages in. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely middle grade. She's an 8th grader. She just lost her parent. We really don't know how her mother passed, and they have an absent father. So that's what we're kind of grappling with here, and the 2 siblings. So the younger daughter is Serenity, and I believe her brother is named Danny, and they're moving in with their grandparents, so the parents of the lost mother. And it's a lot of emotions, obviously, and we're starting to meet new characters, and I think we're going to start learning all the secrets that her mom left, and that's what Mama left us. Or no, me. What Mama left me. I think it's about all the secrets that they lived through. Like, I don't think a lot of people knew that the absent father was also very abusive, which isn't a spoiler. It literally happens in like the first chapter. He's an unlikable character, you know? But yeah, really enjoying it. And I also wanted to mention something popped in the mail today, and I'm really excited. It has a lot of cute like little decorations on it too, so it's very cute. And let me show you what it is. So if you don't know Sabine from Sabine's Book Nook, she's a booktube channel. She also has an Etsy store, and I got some things before the sale, of course. There's a festive holiday sale after I make all my purchases. So funny. But she wrote me a cute little note asking how I'm doing in LA. I love her. And like the card's really cute. Get it? Because Sabine's Book Nook, it's her book nook. Get it? So definitely, let me show you it closer so you can see. So that's her Etsy store card, and her YouTube channel is the same name, Sabine Book Nook. Definitely check her out if you're not subscribed. Quality content. She gave me some freebies. She gave me this little sticker. I think it's a sticker. It is a sticker, and you're gonna see me. I'm gonna put this on my reading nook right now. Reading nook? God, I can't talk. Reading journal right now, because this is my reading journal. So I'm gonna put her little sticker right here. Nah, I think right there. Let's do it. It's so kind of her to give me a freebie. Let's see. And yes, I have been going ham on like getting bookmarks and whatnot, because I just showed you the holiday bookmarks from the seasonal pages, but there are more to come. I made a large Etsy order recently. I don't regret it. But look, it's a little coffee. If it'll focus on that and not my face. It's a little coffee, and it's so cute, little floral details. And then the bookmarks, and then I just wanted to show you how cute the packaging is. Let's see. Oh yeah, she did. She gave me an extra bookmark. I believe I only purchased these two. So this is the Disney Castle. There's a bit of a glare because it's glossy. It's a glossy bookmark. But if you can see, yeah, Disney's Castle. So freaking cute. And then I got this one, a professional book lover, which is so cute. More coffees and little books. It was super cute, and I like how it's pink. And then I think she threw this one in for free, which is so sweet of her. It is this moon in like space. Yeah, that was so cute. An unexpected little note. Now that I'm done being distracted, I also put in a little laundry, which is nifty, and I heated up my coffee. So I'm gonna get back to reading. I'm hopefully gonna finish What Mama Left soon. I'm flying through it because it's middle grade, you know. So what's up? It is time to wrap up this little 24-hour readathon. I did not end up finishing or starting Punching the Air, which is a little disappointing, but it's okay. I'm gonna totally read it this month. I'm very excited for it, but I did manage to read 4.8 books. Why do I say 4.8? You might be asking. I didn't finish what Mama Left Me. I have 40 pages left. I know, right? How dare I? I don't know what happened, but I am going to finish the last 40 pages, and I will wrap this up in my monthly wrap up, you know, my November wrap up, whenever that comes out. But yeah, I have really enjoyed this so far. I do think it is a 3-star though, just because I feel like there's a lot of religious tones to it, and I don't feel it's as well-rounded as a story as Piecing Me Together was, because the main character is asking strong questions, but I feel like it took a really long time to start asking those questions in the book. So yeah, I am going to wrap this up and talk more about it in my November wrap up, but it was very good. I read 180 pages in that, and let's add up how many pages I managed to read in the 24 hours. So we have 180 pages in What Mama Left Us. I read 192 pages in You Don't Even Know Me, which I think I'm giving a 4-star. I think I already told you that. So plus 192. Then I read Home for Hurricanes by Nikki Murphy, which is an awesome poetry collection. This one is, I believe, 110 pages. This is a 5-star, a really great poetry collection. Trigger warnings for sexual assault though, and I believe suicidal thoughts as well. Let's add plus 110. The next book I read after that was Dear Justice, which 5-star, totally amazing. Can't recommend enough. I want more of Justice. Oh my god. Nick Stone's just character development. She just writes solid characters. And this is 266 plus 266. And then the first book that I tackled was Dear Martin, which was a reread for me. It was a 5-star book again. I love Justice so much. This story means to me the deep questions we talk about, the privilege that people have, how our world is still facing so much, and it's still such an accurate representation and at the same time timely, because we're still asking those questions. You know, people think race or racism is over because 2020 and Biden, or we thought the same thing when Obama was president. It's like, no, we still have a lot to kind of retroactively fix, you know what I mean? And this was 208. Highly recommend this and Dear Justice, and I'm so proud of Nick Stone for doing such a full circle moment where we have the two boys who grew up in the same neighborhood and how their paths and their life decisions affected them. Very cool. Okay, let's see. So I managed to read 954 pages this weekend, which is just so exciting. I would have been so close to 1,000. If you made it to the end of this video, leave down a thumbs up. Be like, yeah, I did it. Thumbs up. I have so many other black lit books that I need to read, so I'm totally gonna have another one. Let me know down below if you want me to make it more public and do it kind of together. That would be kind of nifty. But that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you're planning on reading them. Let me know. I'm so excited. They were all such good reads too. So I hope this video gave you a little bit more sunshine, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!